By this time, you should know many ways to change the look and feel of your worksheet screen. You can change the column headings, hide columns and rows, freeze panes. You also know a lot of ways to customize the printing of your worksheet, changing the orientation between portrait and landscape, setting print titles, setting up the print area. While Excel gives us great flexibility to make all the necessary adjustments, the only downside is that you can only have one set of settings per worksheet. Or can you? The Custom View tool in Excel is a way to save your worksheet viewing and printing settings and give them a name. You can create several of these for your worksheets, and then when you want to change settings, it's incredibly easy. So we're going to start off and we're going to make two custom views. One view will be a summary view that will be printed out in Portrait with some of the columns hidden, and the other will be detailed. And the detailed view will have all the columns showing and be in landscape orientation. We want to start setting up, the first thing we have to do to create a view is set up the actual view, what we want it to be. So let's start off and we're going to hide columns A, G, H, and J. I'm going to do that by doing my command click, H and J. Then I'll right click and I'll hide those columns. Let's only print the first 100 rows. So in the name box, I'm just going to select A1 to I100. That'll select 100 rows. And now I can go to File and Print Area and set the print area, so that's set up. Now we'll make sure the orientation is Portrait. And let's set the repeat titles. Okay, we just want to repeat the top row. So let's make sure that row 1 is selected to repeat and click OK. Now if we do a preview, this is what it looks like. The headings, we've got grid lines on still. We can turn those off. That's it, pretty straightforward. Now we're going to go ahead and set up our custom view. So let's go up to the View menu at the top of the screen, come down to Custom Views, and we get the Custom Views dialog box. Now right now we don't have any set up, and that's why there aren't any showing here. What we're going to do is click Add, and then Excel has a place for a name, and then what are you going to include in this view? And you can include all the print settings, and again, that's everything. That's print area, margins, headers, footers, orientation, anything dealing with printing will be saved with print settings. And then a lot of the display items like hidden rows, columns, and filter settings can be saved in this view as well. So we're going to call this our summary view. The name for views follows the convention that you can't have spaces or special characters. So click OK. And print preview, still nothing really changed because I'm still on that view. Well, now let's make our detailed view. So what we want to do here is reset everything and change the orientation to landscape. So I will click in the corner here to highlight my entire worksheet, and I will right click to unhide all the columns. And next thing I want to do is change orientation to landscape. And now if you see here, you see the page break here? That's telling us that the product name isn't quite going to fit on one page wide when I do landscape orientation. So let's look at that. So let's reset our print area. Make sure Command A and go to File, Print Area, Set Print Area. Make sure the orientation is landscape. And now let's look at that print preview. You see how a couple of the columns are not showing up anymore. It only gets over to inventory ID, not extended price or product name. So we want to use our Fit To fit it to one page wide. So let's make sure that's got a 1 there and click our Fit To. And now let's look at our preview. We've got all the column headings here, and they're repeated on the next subsequent pages. So good, it's pretty much how we want it. So now we can save this as a custom view as well. We'll go to Views, Custom Views, and we're going to add, and this was going to be our detail view. And click OK. So now we have two different views to look at. So what's really the benefit here? Right now, if I do a print preview, I'm going to print out my detail view. I'm showing everything. I've got all the columns and there's a lot of information. I want to just print out the summary view. Instead of going back through all the steps to change it to portrait and hide the columns and everything, I can just call my custom view back up. So from the view menu, go to custom views. Then I go to my summary view and click show. And you see, it hid the columns, it reset my orientation, and it just did all that work of setting up all the print settings for me. Again, if I want to go back to show detail view, it's as easy as going to the view menu, custom views, and showing the detail view. Unhides the columns, and when I do my print preview, all the columns are showing again. So custom views are an incredibly useful tool, and not only can they be used to set up different print formats, they can also be used for just modifying different ways to look at data in your worksheet.